The first ever documented UFO sighting occurred all the way back in 1870 on the summit of Mount Washington in the great state of New Hampshire. Since the founding of the National UFO Reporting Center in 1974, there have been more than 10,000 documented sightings of unidentified flying objects or just alien activity in general all across the United States. All of that is the reason why today we're talking about the 10 strongest signs of aliens and alien life. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to The Supreme, and click the notification bell for more lit content. Let's get rolling. Strange alien skulls. Our first stop on today's wild countdown lands us in Russia, where just a few short years ago a pretty remarkable discovery was made. In the village of Kamennimotsky, a briefcase was found, and inside of it were some very troubling finds. For starters, there appeared to be the bones of some sort of alien race tucked away. Some even say that the skulls were from demons. But that's not the only thing that was interesting about the briefcase. It appears as though the case, along with the contents in it, were all of Nazi descent. It had the signatures of an old group founded by Nazis that was designed to discover the origin of the Aryan race. But I mean, just look at these skulls. They definitely don't look like anything human. Perhaps it could be some type of ancient primate, but again, unlike anything that we've ever seen. Now, it is important to note that it's widely believed that the action of intentionally deforming skulls was, at one point, practiced in many places around the world. So, is that what happened here? Or are these aliens? Or just a product of ancient human culture? La Junta's real alien. Up next, we've got video that made its rounds on the internet, along with a bunch of local and national news shows across the country just last summer. We're in La Junta, Colorado, where Vivian Gomez showed reporters her doorbell security camera footage that was taken one early Sunday morning. Check it out. Now, just what in the world is that thing? Some commented that it looked like one of the characters from Harry Potter or Dobby from The Lord of the Rings. But one thing's for sure, it definitely doesn't look human. Within just 24 hours, the video was viewed more than 11 million times. Is this really proof of alien life? Or something with a much simpler explanation? Real-time alien abduction. We'll move along to what perhaps could be considered even creepier video evidence of real-life extraterrestrial activity. And this time around, someone may have been abducted. We're in Porter, Texas. The video opens with a guy exiting out of the front door of his home. But just a few seconds later, you'll see a light flash from the ground up to the sky there. What the heck do you think that was all about? Could it have possibly been a real alien abduction? Hundreds of thousands of people who saw the footage online seem to think so. But what about you? Project Blue Book. In 1952, the most infamous investigation into signs of extraterrestrial life and possible alien abductions was put together. Project Blue Book compiled reports from tens of thousands of people over a span of 17 years. One of the more interesting stories in that investigation was of the claimed alien abduction by married couple Betty and Barney Hill. The pair were driving through Vermont on their way home after a brief, long overdue honeymoon. They said that they saw what appeared to be a falling star in the night sky as they drove along, but something that they quickly realized wasn't a star at all. The light grew brighter with each passing mile, almost as if it were following the car. What happens next is as controversial as anything you'll ever hear, but the couple claims that they stopped the car to investigate the light, which seemed extremely close at this point, and then they saw it, a large, disc-shaped machine that was hovering near the ground. It was at that point that they lost consciousness, not coming to for over 2 hours, and some 30 miles down the road. Trust me, I know, it sounded crazy when I read it. Through weeks and weeks of highly intense sessions with a psychiatrist, the Hills were finally able to recount their grandiose story. The psychiatrist that they ultimately ended up using was introducing a new technique called hypnotic regression, where their subject is put to sleep before being walked through the experiences that their conscious brains couldn't remember. They described being stripped by their abductors, who were gray, uniformed beings. The aliens took their hair follicles, fingernail clippings, and scrapes of their skin. In the weeks after, they both underwent tremendous amounts of stress dealing with what had happened. They experienced intense, disturbing dreams and eventually sought mental help, which led them to the psychiatrist. Whether you believe their story or not, it was convincing enough to be officially investigated by the United States government. But the real question is, do you believe them? The Dechmont Woods Encounter. Nearly 40 years ago, a man named Bob Taylor was walking his dog near the woods in Deans, Livingston. That day birthed possibly the most infamous flying saucer story in the world's history. Upon walking, Taylor noted looking up and seeing a, quote, flying dome about 20 feet around hovering over a clearing in the forest. He said that the vehicle was dark gray in color and smelled like burning brakes. At that point, he lost consciousness. When he came to, the flying saucer was gone. He went home, muddy, with tattered clothes, and his wife immediately called a doctor and the police. When the police investigated, they saw what appeared to be ladder indentations on the ground near where the event occurred. They also saw evidence of smaller spheres that Taylor also said had come out of the larger sphere. I know, right? Sounds weird. But get this, the UK police officially reported the incident as a criminal assault, making this UFO the only one ever officially the subject of a criminal investigation. Wow signal. Our next number takes us back a bit, as during the summer of 1977, an Ohio State University telescope detected something very strange, and many say that this is absolute proof of alien life. The telescope located an unusual pulse of radiation that, according to the reports, resides somewhere near the Sagittarius constellation. The signal lasted 37 seconds. And it was so startling and unexpected that one of the astronomers monitoring the data screamed, "Wow!" when he saw it. Exciting, I know. There were no stars or planets even remotely near where the signal was coming from, leading researchers to believe that either a massive astronomical event was taking place or intelligent aliens with an extremely powerful transmitter were creating the signal. Strange, and to this day, still unresolved. UFO over Area 51. We like to show you some of the world's craziest recorded UFO sightings from time to time, and if you're thirsty for more of that today, just search through our videos. But this next one is special. For starters, everyone knows that Area 51 in the United States is a hotbed for alien and UFO conversation. And as recently as last summer, a resident of Rachel, Nevada, the closest city to the underground and infamous Area 51, set up motion sensor cameras in her yard. Now, to be fair, this all went down around the Storm Area 51 social media campaign that started with hundreds of thousands of signups, yet only netted a few hundred actual visitors. When she checked the results of the recording, she was floored. There appears to be a large, metallic UFO zooming past in the distance. You can see that machine, whatever it is, moving at a very fast pace. What the heck was that? An alien spaceship? Some sort of secret government Area 51 experiment? I guess at this point, that's for you to decide. Graveyard Gray. The universal consensus on what aliens actually look like, if indeed they are real, is pretty common. They're typically described as short, big-headed with large black eyes, and some say that they'd be green, but others, including a few of the people on today's countdown, claim that they're actually gray. This next bit of footage displays proof of the latter, if you so choose to believe it. Check it out. There, in the distance, behind that gravestone, you can see what appears to be a short, gray alien. The video is about 15 years old, according to the user who uploaded it, so that explains the graininess. But do you think that it's real? It's sort of hard to tell. But I will say this, if I saw something like this in real life, then I definitely need to see a psychiatrist, much like Betty and Barney Hill from earlier in today's show. Icelandic river monster. We assume that most aliens will come to us from outer space, but sometimes we see something so bizarre right down here on Earth that, as far as we know it, could be alien. Mythical creatures like Bigfoots or unicorns could be considered as such, and if you know anything about the Supreme, then you know that we love our river aliens or river monsters as well. Check out this video that was shared by CBS News all the way back in 2012 that shows some unknown river monsters swimming in the ice-cold waters near Iceland. What the heck is that? Whatever it is, it's attracted tons of views online, and to this day, no one knows what exactly it was. Dog-like humanoid creature. Our final clip of the day displays something pretty bizarre. The footage was posted online back during the summer of 2019 and displays smartphone video taken near the Mexico border in San Benito, Texas. A couple of guys were out fishing one day when they saw a strange dog-like creature near the edge of the water. At first, they thought it was simply a loose canine, but after just a few moments, it does something bizarre. It stands up on its hind legs and for a moment appears to look like a very hairy man. What in the world? Could this be the infamous mythical dog man? Or is it something else with a much simpler explanation? That was the 10 strongest signs of aliens and alien life. What do you think about some of today's entries? Did anything scare you? Let us know down in the comments. Thanks for hanging out with the Supreme. We'll see you next time.